Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Deals with Our Devils. And I overall enjoyed this episode because it kind of moved the plot forward a little bit and kind of got us caught up from the last episode. So, the main portion of this episode dealt with the fallout from Eli using the reactor and kind of separating our team. So we've got our regular reality, and then we've got the kind of Lucy ghost reality. And we kind of get everything kind of interspersed within there, and we also get to see what happened with Simmons. So the main thing with Simmons was she was being taken off to look at the Inhuman cocoon that was with Senator Nadir. That was her big kind of thing. So she was brought on as a specialist because she's dealt with Inhumans before and Terrigenesis and all that, and kind of was trying to see what was going on with this Inhuman since it's been in this state for months, whereas usually it takes a shorter amount of time. So she tells everybody to get out and just acts very calm towards the guy in the cocoon and just introduces herself, gets him to lower his heart rate and everything, and she's able to have him calm enough, and then his cocoon starts cracking and starts taking off some stuff, and we find out that they look normal, so their powers aren't manifesting physically at the moment. So we don't know how powerful this person's going to be. Then, after we're trying to figure out what's going on, she gets a bag over her head and gets dragged out of there. So that's kind of where it's at the moment. We don't know what's happened with Simmons to the full extent. Hopefully she's returned to S.H.I.E.L.D., but it could be other kind of things that are going on. So this is important because as they're trying to figure out what's going on with the rest of the team, Mace does try to contact Simmons and is contacting Nadir. But as we're seeing them on the plane with the Zephyr after they have gotten the Darkhold from the chamber that Eli was in, which we saw Coulson and Fitz trying to talk with May and Mac, and Robbie trying to talk with Eli, Eli's using his powers more effectively. He's mainly just sticking to carbon at the moment, and is using it to great effect to take out a S.H.I.E.L.D. team by making it spurt from, like, various places, and using the carbon to make a shield and a corridor to block it off so that way he can go on his own way. They've all come back on the Zephyr, and Mace was trying to get in contact with Simmons to try and get another head on this. And of course everybody's talking about what's happened to, like, Coulson, Fitz, and Robbie, and Daisy saying how it doesn't feel like they died, like with Lincoln, that it's kind of different. And it's cool seeing this, like, juxtaposition of them being so deep that they're even deeper than Lucy and her colleagues were, and trying to, like, affect the real world, well, their world, more than what's going on in theirs, as it's, like, getting darker and colder and everything. So everybody's just, like, trying to get their own head around what's going on, and as they're getting ready to zip up the bodies and get ready for the Zephyr to take off, Mac acts a little bit strangely in the regular world, and everyone's like, what the heck? He goes off on his bike to go after the Chinatown gang because Eli was the one that hired them to pretty much set everything in motion for him to get the Darkhold. And as we see in the Ghost world, the Spirit of Vengeance had removed itself from Robbie and attached itself to Mac. So he's possessed at the moment, and Coulson and Fitz stay with the Zephyr, and Robbie goes with Daisy in his Charger as we get a pretty cool chase sequence going down. I mean, it's not as extensive as the one between Coulson and Robbie was, but it was kind of cool to see Daisy driving it and being like, oh, scratching up the Charger and saying, oh, don't worry, it's a self-healing car. And Robbie like, no, that only happens when I'm the Ghost Rider. And him banging on the car to try and, like, tell her where to go to try and, like, get it to tell her, and as it does, signaling the turn signal to go left, it's like, okay, this is going pretty well. So she makes it to the warehouse that Mac's at, where he's, like, ripping the Chinatown gang a new one, killing people and everything, and we find out that it's completely the Spirit of Vengeance. It's not like a halvesies or anything. He's in complete control of Mac's body. and we see him talking with Robbie, and how he's like, Mac's not driven by vengeance. He's not going to be a good host for you. And he's like, well, he's in pain, so I can live off that for years. And Daisy kind of interrupts them at the moment, and Mac then goes into his own Ghost Rider mode, and it's cool because his Flaming Skull is different than Robbie's. And I hope they utilize that more effectively if they do more stuff with Ghost Riders, because that's a cool way to differentiate characters. But at the moment then, the Spirit of Vengeance then hears Robbie talking about a new deal, that he will settle the Spirit of Vengeance scores in Hell if he'll help him settle the score with Eli. So the Spirit of Vengeance leaves Mac, goes to Robbie, and we don't see him go there, but it's pretty much assumed that he goes to Hell and starts doing whatever the Ghost Rider needs him to do. So we then get to see May trying to get Radcliffe to read the Darkhold to try and help them get Fitz and Simmons back. And not Fitz and Simmons, Fitz and Coulson back. Because that's important in that they've been trying to get Simmons to help, and Fitz is freaking out over Simmons because of everything that he's been hearing from Mace and all that. And Radcliffe's the only scientist that they've got at the moment. And Radcliffe looks at the book and starts freaking out because he's like, a human mind can't handle this. So him and Fitz are like, have Ada do it. And Coulson's like, no, even though it's an android, we shouldn't be using this. And then Fitz pretty much goes off on him because he wants to get back to Gemma. And Coulson and Daisy kind of threw in the towel to have these decisions made. So it's like, screw this, we need this to happen. So Ada makes this contraption, and using these kind of cool gloves and like lasers that we can see from the ghost side, but not see on the regular side, to make this portal that opens up. And of course May was about to go in, but Radcliffe's like, no, don't go in there. And then because we see that Coulson is pretty much being sucked down to Hell, or wherever kind of dimension that it would be sucking him down to, and Fitz pulls him out, and they get through that, and it's like, alright. And then Mac and Daisy get back to the base, and Mac waits at the contraption, and Robbie comes back there and is like, alright, let's get this done. Let's get Eli. And that's a cool setup, because we don't know even the full effects of Eli's powers, and the only one that we could know that would be able to go up against him at this point would be the Ghost Rider, or some other kind of Omega level Marvel character such as Thor or the Hulk. And we haven't even begun to see if the effects of Doctor Strange will have any kind of ramifications, and I really can't wait to see what that's going to be doing, if that's going to be brought up during the confrontation with Eli. So the last kind of bit that we get is that Radcliffe is celebrating that they got him back, and we see Ada using her laser gloves to create this brain, and that's kind of strange. But we don't know what the Darkhold has done or told her, and what designs it could be trying to do. So that could throw the wrench into a lot of things for a lot of people, and make something that we don't even expect coming to like pop up. And it's like, that's going to be cool. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.